Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin' H TV session 65. Tonight we are going to assemble one of these fine things, a Crustbuster 45-foot grain drill, which is kind of cool. I did an experiment where I bought a bunch of these kits out of China and gave everyone a little, gave them all a deal. And so passed the savings on, and now we've got some out there. We need to learn how to assemble them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get cranking right on that. And if anybody is watching, I bought this from a guy, and I thought I was buying a Volvo GMC truck, and this is a Kenworth T600A. Well, I don't need a T600A. I need that Volvo. So if you happen to have one, I'm buying. If not, I'm just going to go to eBay and get one, so no big deal. But it does have to be a Volvo GMC. That's got, I mean, I don't even care what shape it's in, as long as it's, it needs to be a sleeper truck too, if we can get that done. So, anyway, hope everyone's having a good week, having a good weekend. We have Memorial Day coming up this weekend. What's going on? What's everybody doing? Post your in the comments here. Tell me what you're doing this Memorial Day weekend. Are you traveling? Going to break in the lake this year? We have Kevin and Dustin and Justin all watching in tonight. I saw a few others get in here. I was blathering and didn't welcome them in. There you go, Justin. All right. Cherry 7-Up, totally underrated. Galen is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Like I said, if you got big plans this weekend, what you doing? I'm going to head to the Granite State Park in Oklahoma. We're having a little mini family vacation thing. So my sister's getting down there with her family. My brother can't make it, but my dad and his wife are coming, and my family will be down there, so we're going to have a big time. Probably throw back a few cold ones and smoke a fine cigar. That's what we do. It's all good. Dustin is working on his truck after it sits for 2 years. All right, well, good deal. I'll bet you Eric, is Eric, who is it? No, Eric Leonard. I think you mow grass, don't you? I forget. Or do you farm? I don't recall. Man, doggone it. I know someone's wanting a tractor tonight. Putting in their corn and beans. But that's all good. So we got Dustin working on a truck. Will Has No Legs is watching. He's a party animal, probably going to ham it up this weekend. What else do we got? What else is it? Justin Tate's just going to have a few cold ones? Of course. Well done. Might as well. It is Memorial Day weekend, right? Dylan is watching. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I know there's a number of you guys who are just going to be farming and doing your job because that's what you have to do on the weekends, but some of you aren't. There's Joel. Good to see you, Joel. Welcome. Man, I haven't had this in a long time. Went down to my son's room and I said, hey, what do you got down there on the floor? Sure enough, he's got him a 12er of Cherry 7-Up, and I said, why don't you share? Hey, Will, how you doing? Good to see you. So I snuck into his stash, and that was okay. So tonight's is pretty easy. It's not uncomplicated. It's not terribly complicated, but it's all right. Dustin says he's putting injectors in. Have to work on a bathroom. Holy cow. You got a whole list of things you got to do, but that's the way it goes, right? Jonathan's here. Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. I believe it is 8:30, so we're just going to get a cranking. Hey everyone, it is Eric with Rockin' H TV session 65. Tonight we are going to assemble a Crustbuster grain drill. This wired up mess here. First we got to cut it all apart, and then we're going to put it together. And I'll show you how to do that and a few steps to do that the easy way. So, without further ado, I'm going to kick the camera around and we're going to get right on it. Here we go. All right. So, when you get one of these Crustbuster grain drill kits, grain drill, boy, say that 5 times fast. Grain drill, grain drill, grain drill, grain drill kit. I don't know. Anyway, what you're going to get is you're going to get some of these hoppers. And if you buy them off of Shapeways, they come wired together, stacked up, and there's just a wire you got to cut right here and here off of all three. But other than that, these are the ones I bought from China. All I did, I was experimenting because I just wanted to see if I could do it, so I did. All I did to these guys was I stuck a little piece of styrene rod in here after I got them cut apart. And then I didn't clean them or nothing. So I had this hanging on a styrene rod like so. I didn't clean them or nothing. I just shot primer on them and then paint. And it worked out pretty good. Now the Shapeways ones, you can't do that. But the ones from China, if you bought anything from me recently and I shipped it to you, you can do that. Or at least I did it. Okay, but first, the hard part here is this big nest of parts here that are all wired up together. And we got to cut all this apart, and this was designed so, one, it'd be cheaper, and two, you'd get all the parts in one buy. You wouldn't have to go and hunt for everything you needed. So all you need is a pair of these fancy side cutters here, boom, boom, and then you get to rock and roll. Handy dandy X-Acto knife that's nice and sharp isn't a bad idea either. But here we go. So there's no particular place to start, you just start. And I've been starting here with these, getting these press wheels out of here. Now you'll notice, right here, let me see, let's get that in the shot. There you go, right there you can see it. And I use the white one over the black one, I think you can see this stuff easier. This piece right here, don't cut that. I mean, it's not life or death if you don't. But there's a wire right underneath this part in front. And on the real machine, the arms actually, the folding arms rest on it or something. So there's a wire here, there's one here, and there's one here, okay? Now we're almost free. Then there's another one right down in here. Snap, done. That bad boy is free. Now you'll notice you've got a warped seed tube here. Now you have two choices here. One, you can leave the warp seed tube, or two, you can warm this up a little bit and bend it back. This is resin, so you can use a little bit of heat and it will bend back real easy. Austin Baldwin is here. Good to see you, Austin. From there's two wires, 1, 2, 3, actually 4 wires on the ends and 2 down the center that hold everything together. Just cut those flush. That's it, man. Oh, look at that. There it went someplace. Yeah, I'll find it someday, or I won't, and it'll be okay. So, I'm curious, what does everybody listen to when they're building models? I usually listen to either books, and I have several podcasts, well, not several, I got about 5 podcasts I like to listen to regularly. And then lately I found Red Sun Rising. Oh my gosh. I've heard of them before, but for some reason it's just like I heard them new again, and they're freaking awesome. Okay, we're missing a press wheel here. Well, that's a bummer, is it not? Oh well. So, these are done. We're just going to set them off to the side. Again, if you want to, you can take a little heat, and any warped seed tubes you can go ahead and replace. Now this missing press wheel, I'm not going to bother with it because I've already unwrapped everything and nothing came out of the packaging to indicate that it was missing. So, you know, hey, what the heck. Yeah, you'll notice I'm a bit laissez-faire about that. Okay, now we have all these other parts. Okay, Simeon says he just got in. Dustin listens to classic rock. And Jonathan plays some kind of music while he's building. That's awesome. Now, there's all sorts of other wires. So you have a part here. There's a folding arm here. Excuse me. You have a folding arm here. Folding arm there. And then one on the back side. And then you have these 2 sets of folding wings here. Now all these little wires here, the ones you want to cut, all these little tiny guys right here, right there, right here, right here, right here, there and there. You can cut all those wires. And then, like right here, you can cut those too. Brian says he listens to classic rock or old country, even some new country. All right. I'm kind of a heavier rock kind of guy. And I found a station out of Woodward, Oklahoma I can listen to online. That is freaking cool. They are very good. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting all these little wires off, wire stubs. And you'll notice here, let me see, right there we go. You can see some rough spots on this. And I believe this is leftover material from the 3D printing process. It's more noticeable on the black ones, I think. Yeah, you can see it right there. On this arm right here, you can see it really well. I did sand some of that off, but frankly, I think if I were to have the China company print these when I have them print them for me again, I'm going to have this taken all apart and repackaged. So the print quality, I don't have all this rough crap. Okay. Simeon listens to classic country or whatever his wifey has on the TV in the background. Cool. In the good old days, I did all this stuff at my kitchen table. And so I would listen to whatever my family was watching on TV. That's how I got started, was at my kitchen table. That's just where it all began. I made a lot of money sitting at my kitchen table working after the kids went to... That's when they were little guys. Okay. I'm going to set this off to... Oh, wow, look at how warped that is. Woo! Dang, man. That's crazy. Yeah, like I said, when I have them do this again, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take all this stuff apart in the file and send them different things. Because, look at that, that's warped too. That's not good. Michael Paddock is Perry Mason on in the background? Oh my gosh. Perry Mason. My mom used to watch that. Tyler Pope, Five Finger Death Punch, Godsmack. Oh, yeah, that's all good stuff. Simeon's still at the kitchen table. All right. You can actually break these stubs off, too, with your fingers. I've noticed whatever this material is, it is fairly resilient. I mean, you can flat put the screws to it, and it doesn't... I found it's pretty darn tough. It's not bad. The Shapeways stuff, if you get Frosted Ultra Detail, is not this strong. Okay. So, you'll notice in here, this is left over from the printing process. Again, I wonder, and I'm almost certain I'm right on this, the problem here is that these tolerances are so low and everything's so tight. That's just what's coming out. And I think if I were to change up the way the file is. Now, you don't have to do this for Shapeways, but I found with the China company, it certainly wouldn't hurt. Okay. Evan listens to Metallica all day long. All right, well, there you go. Okay, and there we go. So this one's actually not going to be very great to put together because this is all, look at that, that is all sorts of goofy. That is not even right. But the way to solve this problem with anything that's warped here, like all this, I'm going to do is get my wife's hair dryer. Funny story, Sunday morning she's getting ready for church and she's like, "Here's my hair dryer." Oops, I know where it is. It was out here in the shop. Whoops. Anyways, you take your hair dryer, warm this up, and then you just by hand hold it, move it into place wherever you want it, and then once it's cool, you're good to go. So none of this I can't really assemble this one because this one's all sorts of weird. But that's okay. Well, I haven't seen one like that yet. I've only assembled these ones that were already black, and I didn't have that problem. Some of them were warped, some of the wings were warped and whatnot, but yeah, I just warmed them up, got them where they need to be, and poof. Okay, there we go, Bubbas. All right. So just getting rid of those stubs, and if you're wondering, that's a dull X-Acto knife. So that way, when it goes into my body, when it slips, it'll make a nice jagged cut instead of a smooth, deep one. Note sarcasm, please. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, so there you go on that. I don't know if any of these others that already went out that I shipped already, if any of those are warped or not. Like that little arm there, you can warm that up and bend it back. It'll bend really easy. But yeah, so one thing I do recommend is to paint it afterward. For some reason, it seems like it just is easier to paint it all afterward before you paint it, before you assemble it. Paint it. It's cute. Golly, I'm totally screwing this up. Assemble it and then paint it. I found that works really well. Okay. Now this, you'll notice this is also warped, so I'm gonna have to straighten that up a little bit. But there's two little pockets right here, and the original designer, Garrett Mock and I, Mock Farms, we had this guy from Russia. We think he was from Russia. And then he disappeared, but he started this project for me, and really he came up with a pretty clever design. These little holes in here, you have associated pins or stubs or whatever, and they snap in here. And it's really kind of cool. The problem is, well, there's really no problem. It doesn't hold them very well. But then that it lets you allow those press wheels to move. It's kind of cool. Since the wheels don't turn, I don't even bother. But see, you can get a little bit of height out of your press wheels. And then all these seed tubes are supposed to slide into this. And it's cool, but on the real one, these seed tubes collapse on each other, kind of like Russian dolls, one inside the other. They collapse on each other, allowing hydraulic cylinders to move this up and down, and then you get all sorts of movement here. Well, you can't. These don't collapse; they're just static, and they don't slide in them holes at all. I mean, the idea is cool, but it just didn't work. So you snap those into place. I put a little dollop of glue in each one of these places, and then I kind of snap them in, and then let it dry, and then move on to the next step. All three of them work the same way. The wings, it all works exactly the same, so there's no magic there. And if you're just tuning in, I gotta go ahead and take some heat, and my main frame here is all sorts of warped, so I'm gonna have to warm that up and bend it back. Excuse me. Which isn't a big problem. Okay, to continue with assembly, you're gonna have to these are really, really tight, so definitely put that together after paint. Wow, look at that. that's all sorts of weird. See, look at that. That wing's way up in the air. That's not right. Anyway, let me get some pins for you and show you what I use. All right. But anyways, your wings are going to snap on. You're going to assemble these. Slide them into place, like so. Then I'm just using straight pins. I bought these for like $1 or something at Walmart. And then you just simply line them up and run it through, okay? Now, for the rest of this, I think I can show you on an assembled model here. Hang on. Alrighty. So, here it is with the wings assembled. There's a straight pin here, here, and there, and there. These pivot points right here, these folding arms, they're going to go together like so. Actually, got that one backwards. And you may need to get a file and file out. I mean, if it fits too tight, you don't want to break it, so just get in with a piece of sandpaper or file and make it so it does fit. And there you go, like so. So if you'll notice, all of these attachment points are towards the bottom, bottom, and then they go together like so. And that's it, guys. It's pretty simple to assemble, I think. Again, I would assemble everything and then paint. And you can prime and paint as you wish. When you go to pin these things, what I do is I take a little bit of glue, put it right there on that head, just enough to hold it in place so it doesn't pop out. Then I come in here with my side cutters, the flat ones, and I cut that pin flush, just like so. And again, it's just a straight pin, so you can use a bunch of them, and you're out of, less than 0.001 cents. Just like that, okay? Oops, backwards. So the short arm goes towards the wing, attaches to the wing, and the long arm attaches to the main frame. Just like so. That's how that's going to work. Okay. Finally, after you get your hoppers, your seed boxes primed and painted, you can put decals on ahead of them, before or after, doesn't matter. But if you do put your decals on, make sure you have right and left wing decals in the right spot. Okay? So you have Crustbuster on the outside of each wing, and Crustbuster, 2 of them with your SMV symbol in the middle. Just like so. Okay? Okay. There's 2 slots on each one of these wings that will match up right here. Okay? So you can see a little bit of a groove, an indentation. It's not very glamorous or big, but it does work. And then those will match up with this right tab right here. Here, all the way down. Okay? Let me show you on one of these. There, you can see it again. Maybe even a little bit better on white. Okay? And since I have that in pieces, I'll just show you real quick how that works. So I don't have to be delicate here. And that's just going to sit right there on that tab. And that's it. Glue it down, and you're good to go. So we will go ahead and do that since I have one ready. I'm not using just a crazy amount of glue, just enough to keep them on. I mean, these don't receive a whole lot. I mean, you're going to leave it on your out. This isn't meant for playing with, So you're going to put it on your layout and forget about it, Forget about it. And that's just where it's going to live, is on a shelf for your layout or someplace safe. This would have been a little bit better demo had these all been perfect and I could have just attached them. But with them needing a little heat to get right with the world, I don't want to put them together because it would look funky. There you go. And I've got Crustbuster toward the outside. Greetings from Mount Rushmore. Can't stay. I'll watch later. Cheers. Well, welcome, Ward. Boy, I'm glad you're having a nice vacation. Enjoy. Mount Rushmore is on one of my travel to places. I want to go see that. I think that would be cool. Okay. Whoop. A little glue on my thumb. All right, boys. That's it. Ta-da. Now, I found this thing looks the best when it's folded out. When it's folded in, it looks kind of dumb. For some reason, the geometry in here, the hitch comes way up high like this, and I'm not sure how to fix that. I've had a number of them behave this same way right here, where everything raises up. It's okay when the wings are out, everything goes back to normal, but boy, when it's sitting around, it looks kind of dumb, I think, when it's folded up. I thought the other day, or when I was taking pictures of them over the weekend, I thought a good way to do that would be to warm up this front part of the hitch. You know, you could bend it down a little bit, but I don't know. That's the way it is right now. Overall, it's a cool model. I spent a crap ton of money on this thing, and I don't have hardly anything to show for it yet, but, and like I said, overall, it's nice. It's cool. It's cool. But I think if it were me using it, I would stick it on a shelf and I would just let it live there. Or I'd tie it down to a mini layout and stick it on a desk and do that too. So guys, that is how you assemble the Crustbuster grain drill. Not the best video in the world because it didn't have all my, well, it wasn't until I had it apart that I discovered that, you know, woo, it's kind of weird and warped. You know, if I had a nickel for every time I had to learn something new with this model stuff, I'd have a freaking load of nickels. I'd probably quit doing this if I had that many nickels. But anyway, there's always something to learn in there, just the way it goes. Luckily, I'm not afraid to learn. There we go. All right, guys, if you have any questions about the Crustbuster, you can buy them at shapeways.com. I've got 3 of them that I put together over the weekend on eBay now. If you get me privately, I even knock off whatever the eBay fees would be. If you want to do it that way, I'm cool with that. But I do have some over there on eBay. Like I said, PM me here and I'll deal with you, because it's going to cost me 13% to sell it on eBay, so I can take 13% off right now, and there you go. Save you and me a little bit of money and hassle. Or save you some money, save me some hassle. There you go. But if you have any other questions, these are on Shapeways right now. You can buy them in Frosted Ultra Detail. And I'm fairly certain the last time I bought some of the hitches and everything, you can actually get them in Black, Strong, and Flexible, which is really kind of cool. Black, Strong, and Flexible is not a glamorous plastic, but it's black. You don't have to paint it. And I love not painting stuff when I don't have when I can avoid it. You know, for me, it's worth a few more dollars if I can get them already somewhat the way I need them, versus me having to take time and do it myself. That's just my philosophy, and some other people would disagree with that, but it kind of depends on what you're doing these for. I mean, if you're doing it for a competition layout or something, or maybe you're just a really detail Nazi, which is great. I love detail Nazis. Then of course you want to do something a little higher end, a little upscale. But you know, for a lot of my clients when they come to me, especially on these drills, they just want one set on a shelf. Well, I can save us all a little money and a little hassle if we just kind of take a step down, and then I can get it to you and it's going to sit on a shelf and get dirty and dusty, and I didn't have to spend hours painting and cleaning and doing all that other stuff, or at least time. So that's just my philosophy, but you'll have to figure out what works for you and go that route. But anyways, that's how you're going to assemble this bad boy. Overall, it's pretty simple, I think. Again, yeah, there we go. I'll just leave it like that. David, good to see you. And can't think of anything else, guys. Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to be traveling back from Oklahoma. I don't know if I'm going to have class on Memorial Day weekend, Monday night. I don't know. TBA on that. Maybe I'll just do something. I might do something this week, actually, because what do I got going on this week? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, I got this project, and I've been dying for a reason to do another one of these Freightliner Cascadias, or not Coronados. Yeah, Coronados. This is a Liberty Classics Freightliner Coronado. So this week, you know what I might do? A client called me and says, hey, can you make one a day cab? And I said, well, yeah, let's do that. So I've never made a day cab out of one of these, and I'm just so excited to do that. So I'm going to actually take this whole darn thing apart, chop it up, and make a day cab out of it. Then I'm going to paint it this really pretty shade of silver and this gorgeous, what's it called? Royal, it's some sort of royal blue. Oh my gosh, it's totally, totally hot. But anyways, it's just going to be a day cab with some art. Will I stick it on a DCP frame? I don't know. I'll do something. We'll figure it out. But I'll probably do a special little intermediate show either early in the morning or late in the evening or later in the evening where I'll dismantle one of these for you live. And then I'll probably stop the film, do another one where I actually chop up the cab and make a day cab out of it, because this is going to be one sexy beast. Conrad is here. Hey everyone, you got a film star right here, Conrad Weaver, sorry, of Conjo Studios. If you ever heard of the Wheat Harvest movie or Thirsty Land, he's done a number of documentaries. Go out and buy his stuff. I recommend it. Certainly you want to go and patronize him because he's got a lot of cool stuff out there. Just does really neat work. So welcome, Conrad. Good to see you. So it's almost 9 o'clock, guys. You know what I know, and I'm going to let you go. Please make sure, if you know somebody wants a drill or something like that, you're welcome, Conrad. You want, make sure you get this in the hands of people that can use it. Make sure you watch it if you have drills or something that you're going to put together for yourself. Like, comment, and share, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. And we will catch you next time. And don't forget, be watching. I'll do something impromptu where we take this and make it freaking amazing. We will catch you later. Bye.